Mixtapes, the things that just keep on mixing. The beginnings of a musician, these come in many fashions, styles, and attitudes, and vary drastically between people and genres. They can be hard-hitting to super soft to that time you opened up GarageBand in 8th grade. Anyone can do a mixtape, and as you'll see in a bit, can sometimes be the thing that changes someone's life or music genre forever. What are the best and worst mixtapes? Have you ever made a mixtape or have a favorite one? Let me know down below. And in this video, we're going to be looking at these things, the struggles that come with them, and see some of the craziest mixtape stories ever. And if you end up enjoying this video, then consider subscribing. It means a ton. Anyways, let's get into this. Enjoy! You know, it's so weird to me that people still hand out mixtapes on the street. Did they not get the memo? What, I'm gonna pull out my Xbox original and start bumping these tunes? I don't think so. See, I gotta say Xbox original, because if I say Xbox One, no one knows what the hell I'm talking about. Still haven't forgiven him. Anyways, on with the tapes of mix. Mixtapes are so interesting to me. To generalize it a bit, the mixtape is a project, a passion project done by another human being, just like you and me, that wants to try their hand at making something as a musician, using what they've learned either by making songs here and there or drafts and demos by themselves for who knows how long, finally sitting down, fleshing stuff out, and putting together something to release wherever. It's used to give you an idea of who they are as a person, and versely for artists, it's essentially your introduction to the world. It's where most people will hear you for the first time in a full body of work. The debut of you into the sea of the music industry. Watch for pirates. But not to be confused with your debut album, which is its own thing. Mixtapes, of course, are mainly found in, but not limited to, hip-hop, with people making tapes to show their skills and styles on the mic. Your favorite rapper probably started with a mixtape somewhere, or at least made one at some point. Sometimes, the artist making one isn't even a rapper, and could be a DJ or producer. Guys like The Alchemist, Nujabes, and DJ Premier used to make what's called a beat tape, the mixtape's cousin. Projects full of instrumentals for peeps to rap on, or invite their friends to hop on songs for them. DJ Drama would come up being the official DJ for T.I. and make a series of rap tapes under his Gangsta Grills brand, working with tons of artists ranging from Lil Wayne, Fabulous to Ludacris, with even today's artists like Tyler and Cole showing their appreciation for the series through their works. Mixtapes essentially are albums made by the artist, published by the artist, with the freedom to do anything they want, usually without any restrictions, no execs, managers, nothing. It lets artists create without the fear of things like copyright and sample clearance, all that technical mumbo jumbo. You wouldn't think just by looking that these two have anything in common till I tell you they both sample Super Mario 64. But not without its catch, as you can do whatever you want with it, except make money from it, as since you ain't clear these samples, you ain't clearing these checks. Some artists are really cool with being sampled, and some artists really don't take it well. Now, the sampled artist is totally entitled to do either or, and I'll show you an example of both later. But if the mixtape artist gets big enough and decides they want to sell the mixtape as their own, that's when you have to go through all the legal hurdles, talking with whoever they gotta to negotiate a deal, and bam, there it is. Some artists will put the tape on streaming, but remove songs they couldn't get cleared, aka the diet version, but nobody wants that. Some people just make music for fun, or for themselves, and aren't expecting to blow up, but life is very haha like that, with peeps making tunes with their friends and becoming an overnight sensation, sometimes even changing the landscape of the industry by accident. The nerve of these guys. But okay, enough guff. Let's get Pacific. The term mixtape originates all the way back in the distant past of 1980, where peeps would put a mix of their favorite songs on their own cassette tapes and give them to friends or sell them around. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, we saw a slew of artists coming up by shopping their mixtapes or demo tapes around to publishers or other artists hoping to get signed or gain recognition. Guys like 50 Cent and J. Cole releasing projects getting the attention of their eventual partners, Lil Wayne later using them to drive hype between releases, and bands like Metallica and 9 Inch Nails would record demo tapes that would bubble up in their underground scenes before getting signed to a label. Some artists just pump out tapes like there's no tomorrow, or help pioneer a new sound with their works. Trap pioneers Jeezy, Gucci Mane, and the previously mentioned T.I. all set course their careers with tons of mixtapes coming up. Gucci Mane specifically is towering on over 70 of them, with him keeping his hype, releasing stuff even while in prison. Some of them would also have some amazing album covers. Don't worry guys, I didn't forget. Future's work was helping to push trap throughout the 2010s, especially with this trilogy of tapes, and guys in the Raider Clan, ASAP Crew, and Young Lean, as well as Lil B, being cloud rap pioneers, who's also sitting on top of over 60 mixtapes. As well as Gucci, that's not even counting solo albums or compilation projects or books. These dudes is working. Kanye West would get into a car accident while recording his debut album, The College Dropout, but to keep his spirits going, he and his friends would put together this tape called Get Well Soon to have some music out before the big day. And a bit later in 07, he would do a similar thing for his album Graduation and released a mixtape titled Can't Tell Me Nothing to tide people over until September. And a couple of years later, we would see the rise of the Odd Future Boys and their respective tapes, Tyler's, Earl's, I'll get to you later. Speaking of rapper-producer combos, if I'm mentioning mixtapes, it'd be illegal not to mention the one Mac Miller, right? The man of many talents, starting his journey in 2007 as Easy Mac and releasing mixtapes online, but broke through in 2010 with his fourth mixtape, Kids, and cemented his growth with The Best Day Ever the next year. Throughout his career, just like Lil Wayne, Mac really was pushing mixtapes to its absolute limits, using them to try ideas, do gimmicks, and reinvent himself in tons of ways. But not only would he rap, he would also produce a lot of his own material, eventually adopting the moniker Larry Lovestein and the Velvet Revival, but eventually settling on Larry Fisherman as his official producer alter ego. All of this while still doing studio album stuff. You guys just don't hit the grind off button. But as most know, it wasn't all Guns N' Roses, as during this time he was also struggling a lot with drug addiction and mental health, and that would sometimes come out in his music, on top of internal problems with his label, as he wanted to branch into different sounds stylistically, but had trouble doing that with the people on top. This would all culminate in 2014 with the eventual release of his 11th mixtape, Faces, on May 11th for free online. Well, half free, as to get it, you had to go through a very secure and custom-coded challenge on his website, oldjewish.com. You have to make a sandwich and submit it. Considered by many to be his magnum opus, this project is largely produced by him with features from his friends like Vince Staples, Earl Sweatshirt, and even Thundercat, and tackles subjects like identity, drug use, mental struggle, and even death. It's really eerie hearing songs like Funeral and San Francisco today. He would continue making studio albums until his passing in 2018. Chicago's Chance the Rapper got his feet off the ground with his tapes 10 Day and Acid Rap, the former being named after him getting a 10-day suspension from school for having that Kid Cudi on him. Later, combining his forces to create his critically acclaimed tape Coloring Book, which landed him the Grammy for Best Rap Album, the first streaming-only project to win a Grammy. He pushed that project like crazy, releasing these tie-in 3 hats that he wore everywhere. He still does. It's crazy. He released Coloring Book to critical acclaim and hasn't made a project ever since. A true legend.
Package for Mr. Bites?
Ugh. Was that because of Chance? I'm sorry, his album is an easy target for trashing on because, you know, it's not very good, but I don't think it's like terrible, eh? I like We Go High, and Town on the Hill is very moody. Sucks Hot Shower is one of the worst songs in existence, but what can you do? His voice is also weirdly mixed on like all the songs. Okay, anyways, what's in the box? Well, none other than Big D's mixtape. Here comes the D. Who comes up with this stuff? Here's a question for you. While making this video, I came across stuff I always thought were mixtapes but turned out to be self-released albums, and things I always thought were mixtapes but turned out to be EPs. Do you classify self-released albums as a mixtape or an album? Cause I'm seeing both. Now, when you hear the word mixtape, people instinctively think of 2 things: rappers and dodging guys in Times Square. But mixtapes aren't just exclusive to hip-hop. Stepping out of rippity raps, everyone's favorite body of water, Frank Ocean, came up with his debut mixtape Nostalgia Ultra in 2011. Starting out, he was doing ghostwriting for singers like Justin Bieber, John Legend, and even Brandy, and joined Odd Future, becoming their go-to singer, but rapping here and there. And under Off would release New. The record samples peeps like Radiohead, MGMT, Mr. Hudson, and Coldplay, and received critical acclaim from blogs and artists all over, especially Jay-Z and Kanye, who invited Frank to work on their upcoming album Watch the Throne, and by proxy, ended up working with Beyonce to write for her album 4. But one bird crew that didn't enjoy it as much was the Eagles, as Frank took their classic rock song Hotel California and had an American wedding all over it. Eagles founder Don Henley didn't take too kindly to Ocean's cover song, forcing him to remove it online and going as far to call him a quote talentless little prick. Jeez. Yeah, get him, Don. Who does he think he is? This will definitely age well. But on the opposite comes in Cool Guys Coldplay, who liked his Strawberry Swing cover so much that instead of taking legal action, they actually invited him to perform with them on stage during their European tour in 2012, getting him to open for them. That's so cool. See guys, that's how you do it. And again, the Eagles are completely entitled to do whatever they want. It's their song. But like, come on guys, come on, get off your high horse, come on. Moving over to electronic, these artists mainly publish their stuff as EPs or just jump straight to an album, but mixtapes do happen. Flume released his debut mixtape Hi This Is Flume in 2019. After tons of EPs and 2 studio albums, finally finally, his mixtape. Can't wait to hear what this guy's about. He used this to experiment a bit and try out different styles. Some DJs like Diplo made mixtapes back in the day with peeps like Santi Gold and an early MIA, and synthwave artist Calm Trues released a compilation album in 2012 titled In Decay, which was a collection of songs he had floating around from his mixtapes online and singles on his SoundCloud, and put them together here. I used to listen to this a lot back in high school when I was just a stinky kid, and I always thought this was an album. My life is a lie. Next you're gonna tell me Breaking Bad wasn't real. Another artist I really like is the indie pop band Joywave, and their mixtapes 77777 and 88888 respectfully. The former taking beats and making new songs with them, like Drake's Fireworks, and singing over it, making an original song. And they started from 1? Nah, I'm kidding. Could you imagine? But what happens when the mixtape is not actually a mixtape, but is really a playlist in disguise? Who's that? Up from above, it's Drizzy Drake! No! Drake's mixtapes are just a different breed, and to help me with this segment, I've got Button Bill here to correct me whenever I get something wrong. Drake got his start in the mid-2000s, releasing stuff until his breakthrough tape So Far Gone in 2009, combining elements of singing and rapping, going off the foundation Kanye laid, 808s and Heartbreak. His next mixtape wouldn't come until 2015 with If You're Reading This It's Too Late, a surprise release. I wonder where he got that idea. And later the same year, releasing his collab tape with Future, What a Time to Be Alive. Yes, it is. These mixtapes, oh, I'm sorry. These weren't just regular mixtapes, no sir. These two released as commercial mixtapes, projects on streaming but not labeled an album, cause LOL I said so. Young Thug would also come up doing the same thing with his stuff. A bit later after Views came out, we got More Life, another mixtape, a playlist of songs featuring tons of peeps picked and released by Drake, & Co, by OVO, by October Firm, in 2017. I can't do this. With his latest release being the Dark Lane Demos, which everyone knows was really good. Mixtapes, eh? What a concept. I can't even imagine what the industry would be like without them. Oh, I know, boring. Literally made the careers of some legendary artists. Anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And hey, Big D, I'd love your autograph on this.
Thanks for checking out the tape, bro.
Actually, I didn't. It was just delivered to me by some guy. You can stop signing now. Stop, dude, stop. Stop signing! Stop signing!